Hey everybody, so if you're a first-time mom like me and you're thinking about breastfeeding, so I've breastfed since she was born, February 9th. She's 7.5 months old now, and I've been exclusively breastfeeding since she was 3 months old. And I'll just tell you a little bit about since she was born to now. So when she was first born, she was having a hard time latching on at first, and I really wanted to give up, but the nurses at the hospital kept pushing me to keep going with it because it's best for the baby, and I know it is, and so that's why I kept going with it. And so I don't know, I just found the nurses in the hospital were telling me like what's the best position and this and that, and to me, like, I wanted to do the football hold, and they kept telling me like, no, you should try this position, and that's why it's not working, but it wasn't comfortable for me, and they just kept nagging me. And also they make you wake your baby up every 2 hours after you're recovering from birth. Like, I know the baby needs to eat and everything, but my daughter at 7 months is like 21 pounds, and I mean, I don't know, like, I'm not a professional, but to me, I think that started her on bad habits of waking up every 2 hours. Obviously I wasn't gonna let her starve during the day, so that's just my thought on it. But anyway, so what was I saying? Yeah, so I was gonna breastfeed, and then so when I came home I started getting the hang of breastfeeding, and it was fine, but it was hard because when you're breastfeeding, you're the only one that can feed the baby, and when the baby's feeding every 2 hours, you're the one getting up every 2 hours to feed the baby. And when you have a partner, they want to help you, but they can't because you have the breasts and you're the one who has to feed them, right? So at 3 weeks I decided to introduce the bottle. we did the what bottle did we use? The Nook one with a slow flow, and she took it like a champ. She took it right away, and yeah, so then I was like, okay, so I need to pump. So I started pumping, and I wasn't getting a lot of milk from that, so I was like, okay, let's try formula. So we switched and we did the formula, and the first couple days she kind of threw up a little bit here and there, like she would lay back and then she'd full on throw up, so it was scaring me. And anyways, and then we switched to the Similac Alimentum, and that was perfect. That worked out wonderful until so I would go back between breastfeeding and formula feeding as well. So when my husband would feed her with a bottle, we would use the formula, and sometimes I would too if I was like out public. I would just rather, whip out formula and a bottle because, that's just what I was comfortable with at that time. And so continue on to 3 months. Okay, she was screaming, like I was quite sure she was colicky, and I don't know what was giving her gas, but she had really bad gas, and in my mind I was like, okay, maybe it's the formula. I should like try to breastfeed more. So I started breastfeeding more and slowly taking out the formula, and I wasn't pumping or giving her a bottle, so eventually I was just breastfeeding her, and I never thought about the bottle aspect of her never taking a bottle again. And so when I think it was probably like 2 weeks, I didn't give her a bottle at all, and she would start to refuse the bottle. And so I would give up because she'd be screaming because she didn't want it. So I would give in and give her the boob. And pretty much from then on, like almost 5 months later, she will not take a bottle. And to be honest, I haven't had any me time that I don't feel guilty about. If I go to the store, I feel guilty. If I do anything for myself, I feel a guilt about it. And I just want to warn other moms that it's a possibility that it could happen to you too, and postpartum depression is a big thing. And I just wanted to let you know, like, it is a wonderful thing that you do for your child, but at the same time, you can feel trapped. And I'm not trying to make it seem bad, but I'm just being honest of how I feel. And some moms really love it, but I have this fear about leaving her, like serious anxiety about, I don't know, I just don't want her to get hungry and need me, you know. And she's attached to me at the hip. She sleeps with me now at night. And it's my fault that she uses my boob as comfort, and I think a lot of breastfed babies do, but she only will sleep if my boob is literally in her mouth. She'll just suckle on it and go right back to sleep, but if I don't put it in her mouth, she'll cry and cry, and it's taking a toll on me. I'm exhausted. She's awake every like 2 hours still at almost 8 months old. Yeah, I just wanted to give you a heads up on the truth about breastfeeding. And if you are like me and you kind of want like free time, then I don't know, like breastfeed. But I will say the one thing to do is to keep that bottle a constant thing. Like, make it part of their routine, so they are used to a bottle. Because now I'm struggling. I'm going back to work in 4 months and she's still not on the bottle, and I know by the time she's a year old she won't need to breastfeed as much, but I don't know. I'm really I'm scared. And we did try to take the bottle away from her, or the boob away from her, and she went 8 hours with nothing, because she would prefer not to eat through a bottle. She just wanted the boob, that's it. So I don't know, guys, like, you do what you want to do, but that's just my experience and what happened to me. Okay, my friend's gonna be here in like 15 minutes, so I just wanted to get that off my chest. And I wish that somebody would have told me to continue with a bottle and maybe make my life a little bit easier. Okay, thanks for watching.